Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karima and I am powered by power. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are new here, hey, how you doing? Thank you for clicking on this video. Join me on my journey by hitting that button down below. It's red, it says subscribe, it's free. Just do it, just join me. Ooh, this sun is beaming. I don't know if I want to sit here in this whole video, but this video is gonna be short. It's gonna be real short. And to all my returning subscribers, can't forget about y'all, of course. Y'all are real ones. Thank you for already subscribing. Just join us. If you have not done it, just join the tribe, join the community. We out here. So this video is gonna be a conversation with my father. He does not know I'm about to call him, but we have some great things in store for you, and we're still kind of in the process of flushing everything out. And so yesterday was Father's Day and we wanted to launch it on Father's Day and it didn't happen, but I still have a tribute that I want to give him at the end of this video, which he doesn't know about. So if you are watching this, make sure you watch to the end, okay? But I want to call him just so you can see and hear what to expect between our dialogue, because we are doing a podcast together. And so we talked about it, we fleshed it out. We have our title, I mean not our title, but our name of the podcast. We have our vision statement, we have all of those things. We just gotta now, you know, hit the ground running. And so I'm gonna call him. I might have to do this video over because he doesn't know that I'm calling him right now. I'm gonna put him on speaker. Hopefully he answers. I don't think he's at work anymore.
Yeah, I'm not on the break now.
You're still at work though?
No.
So where you at?
Staten Island. What's up?
I called to discuss, where are you? What? Oh, you're at the house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we can't talk right now? I'm recording this conversation.
Why would you do that?
I'm making a video right now.
You're making a video of our conversation?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't that make sense?
First of all, how you gonna make a video of a phone call?
I'm on the phone and the camera's rolling. And I'm gonna post this video today. We gotta give this
camera can't hear either.
Yes it can, you're on speaker.
Unbelievable. You don't do stuff like that. You call me ahead of time and tell me that. You don't tell me on the conversation that you're taping, recording it. That doesn't make sense.
I wanted it to be authentic. I wanted it to be real.
Authentic, real. Wow. You don't want to put my internet voice on?
No. We were practicing and he has this voice, this podcast voice. So let's tell him about the podcast. Are you excited about the podcast?
Am I excited? Of course. It's going to be great.
Do you remember what we called it?
Something about you and me. I forgot. What was it called? What did we say? What did we wind up going? Because we had several. My memory is not as good as it used to be.
That's why I wrote everything down and I was recording everything because I knew you
were. Forgot too.
No, I remember. I actually don't even have a book in front of me, but it's called The Father-Daughter Perspective.
Say again?
The Father-Daughter Perspective.
Yeah, that's it. Just
I should get the book where we wrote. Oh, it's in my bedroom. No. But yeah, do you remember?
So have you laid the groundwork, or this is the initial video? No one knows what's going on? Or
nobody knows what's going on. We're just giving the people something to expect.
Father and daughter. Did we say father and daughter, or daddy and daughter? You said father and daughter perspective?
The father-daughter perspective.
Father-daughter perspective, where we bring you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, what was the rest of that? Perspective.
We wrote. I should go get it, but it was something about.
You probably should have had. You want to record the call as opposed to be prepared for the call. That doesn't make sense. Because you want it to be authentic. I get it.
It's called Life. It's a show where you'll hear about life the culture.
No, we're not gonna do that. We wrote it down. That sound like we don't know what we're talking about.
Okay,
So,
hold on.
all right.
Okay. The father. Oh, we put the father and daughter perspective.
No.
Oh no, I can't. I crossed it out. Maybe that's crossed out. Maybe it's crossed out. So this show is about sharing perspectives on the kingdom, life, and the culture. And then you were gonna explain what those three things were. So the kingdom.
Right, because you called it something that I disagreed with, right?
The culture.
The culture, right? And I was like, what culture, right?
But the kingdom of God, life and the experiences of life, and the black culture. So I told him that when you say for the culture, you don't have to explain that as black culture if you're a black person.
Yes, you do, because you're saying the millennials say it's this terminology that the millennials use that says the culture, and that automatically alludes to the black culture.
Yes, the culture. Do it for the culture.
Reach more than the millennials, so if you can't exclude anyone in your terminology, so you have to be because if you say the black culture, it's not necessarily wrong, but if you say the culture, you're gonna leave some people out in the explanation. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're trying to reach a broad audience, not just a millennial audience, because I'm not a millennial.
Oh, we know.
I'm just saying. So you got to do things the right way. You can't exclude my people.
So that's when we say that part, the show is about sharing perspectives on the kingdom, life, and the culture. You then give your explanation on which kingdom, what about life, and what culture we're talking about.
I have to do that when every time we introduce the show, like.
Well, you never know because with a podcast, somebody may not catch.
But isn't that the footnote of the title of the podcast?
Yes, that's our mission statement. That's what the show's about.
That footnote should not be exclusive. Because they're gonna be like, what culture are they talking about? Is that's gonna bring them in? That's bringing it away. The curiosity gonna lead them to listen? No, you gotta draw them in from jump.
So are you saying that in that statement it should say and the black culture, not just the culture? But if we say that every single time and you give your explanation every single time in the beginning of every podcast episode, then everybody's gonna understand.
Then it would be redundant.
But you never know if somebody is watching the show for the first time on episode 2 or episode 7.
I get it, but what about that person that's an avid watcher and they're gonna get tired of that whole scenario quickly? You wanna have a audience base.
Yes, but it's only gonna be 30 seconds. It's not like we're gonna sit there and explain the show for 5.
Might be more than 30, but again, that 30 seconds will become redundant. They're gonna explain the black culture. They should have just said black culture.
We don't have to go in depth for all of that every single time. The first time, yes. The second time and on, we don't have to go in depth like that every single time.
Uh-huh.
But that's just part of what this show is about.
Hold on a second. Yeah.
That's our focus statement. So the title, what the show is about, on it you will hear, and you should listen if you are. And we fill in the blanks.
Right. Okay.
So, when should we
I don't understand how you call me at this time of evening when you say you were going to call me a long time ago.
Well, today was very...
You started off wrong.
Today was a very long day. I had a lot to do.
Yeah, so when do I fit in that?
Right now.
Yes, no, but I have things I'm doing now. You can't be mindful of yourself and not mindful. We're partnership in this podcast thing. You sound very self-centered with the whole culture thing for the millennials, and your time is more valuable than my time. Like, this is not going.
I'm not saying my time.
This podcast is going to be failing before we get started.
Oh my God. I'm not saying that your time is not valuable.
That's one thing. Millennials are very self-centered. That's one thing we're going to talk about in our show. Y'all are so self-centered and think that y'all know it all. But y'all don't. I just had a conversation with a person that's a little older than me just the other day. And we were talking about millennials. And they always talk about me, and I. And I can do it this way. We can do it this way. But they don't want to listen to reason. They think they got the answer. As opposed to hearing a different perspective.
Well, that is what the podcast is about.
That's why you want to make the footnote drug culture instead of the black culture. Because you're a millennial and you think you know it. And we're going to touch on this. We're going to fix this.
Well,
we're going to enlighten you. We're going to enlighten you.
You also have to be willing to be enlightened also. Because it's not that we know everything. 100%. But we do.
But I gotta tell you though, before we go on, this is a prerequisite. I'm right 95% of the time. Just so you know, going into this.
Okay.
So that 5, I give you that 5% if you hit it, but you gotta hit it. Unbelievable. That is not okay. At all. Like what? I'm just telling you.
No, you have wisdom, and because you're old, you're old, so there's wisdom there.
I'm better than you.
But this just because
Hold on. I got to explain the ball. Give it back to him.
Daddy duties.
You should have told him like that. Yeah. Don't put that back in me.
And I just wanted to give the people a little insight on what they can expect from our podcast, when they can expect our podcast, and all of those that good stuff.
I think it's going to be very enlightening. Hold on a second. I think it's going to be very fun. It's going to be very jovial. Is that redundant? Fun and jovial?
I mean, I guess I get it though.
It's going to give some insight. It's going to give some enlightenment to the listeners. And it's going to be a different twist on life events and discussion of that.
Yeah. I think it'd also be good for like daughters and fathers who are listening in and who may, not understand how to communicate with one another. But just listening in on our conversations, it could be healing for us and healing for them,
Sure.
Communication is a lost art form for some reason.
100%.
So, yeah. I'm excited. I couldn't sleep last night thinking about it. And just, everything has a purpose, and the biggest purpose is always to, as we're overcoming and working things out, like we're sharing with the world how to do the same and just gain perspective, because we all see things from one way, but when we allow ourselves to take a step back and see it from a different perspective, like life can be a lot better.
100%. It's not always and it's not what they need to understand too, especially in a parental and child relationship, that is not always us against them or you against us. You know what I mean? It can be a middle ground where we can see eye to eye and come to collaborative thoughts. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's things that I should not be guarded in you showing me as my daughter, and definitely vice versa.
Yep, I agree. So we're gonna open some beautiful cans of worms and just get to the nitty gritty of all of the work that needs to be done and share these perspectives about real life stuff, like
but beautiful cans of worms, like. Is that a thing? Like, can a can of worms be beautiful?
I just made it. Like, I just made it a thing.
But can that be? Can that be? Like, we're not just gonna say stuff because it sounds cute.
Why not? Why?
And not make sense. Like that's not what we're not gonna do. I'm not gonna
Because no, I think the reason. Okay, let me explain my analogy. When people say open a can of worms, it always has a negative connotation, and that's because they usually don't know what to expect when they open something. But once you open something and you...
No, I think specifically when that statement is made, it is talking about something negative. Oh, girl, you done opened up a can of worms. If it's something else, it's a different slogan for something positive. You're not going to use a can of worms for something positive. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm saying.
Okay.
I mean, if we open up the can and dump out the worms, then it'll be a positive thing. Like, no more worms. Now it's positive.
My point is, whether or not you like my analogy, is that I'm sure we're gonna hit on topics that are going to be a little, wait a second, but we're going to be able to communicate effectively enough
Yeah,
to...
well, I mean, I don't know how far I'm willing to go with you, though.
What you mean?
I don't know how far we're gonna go with the content.
Well, we have different seasons, and every season is gonna be... We're not gonna just do one season and call it a day. We're gonna have... This is gonna be a... It's a long-term thing. It's not just the right now kind of thing.
No doubt.
So we in this. We in it. Don't get in there talking about you don't know how... What you mean?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
What you saying?
You're still my daughter. You're still my daughter. At the end of the day.
I will always be your daughter, and I will be respectful.
We gotta keep that in perspective. Yes, that's the word.
Okay. I mean, that you act like I'm a disrespectful person.
No, I'm just saying we ain't gonna be like, stop giving away, stuff like that. I'm just saying.
What? Why? That's real. I'm a grown woman. No.
Well, anyway.
Unbelievable. We have to keep it PG.
No doubt.
Okay. Alright, well.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be informative. It's going to be enlightening.
Absolutely.
We're going to embark on journeys that the mind can't I was about to put my podcast voice on. You ready?
Oh, are y'all ready for this? I don't know if I'm ready for this. But this is what you can expect. Okay, so we gotta just give the people a date. We gotta figure that out before we
gotta figure that out. To be TBD.
To be determined.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm very excited.
I'm gonna have to give you a limit on the times you can say period and that part.
I don't even say that part. I say period all the time.
But you don't say that part?
I don't say that part.
Oh, okay. So period.
There should be no restrictions. We should be ourselves.
Okay. And I'm gonna be your father and tell you don't say that. Don't say that no more. Period.
Got it. Okay.
So are you on camera right now?
Yes.
So see, you only one side of it. How you gonna be on camera?
Well, okay, let's really tell the people why we doing this video like this. Because
don't do it.
Yesterday was Father's Day.
Respect. You really want to go there? Because I can flip it on you. Let's not do what you're about to do.
How are you gonna flip it? I meant to ask you about that too. If you felt the type of way the way things went.
You can't make plans without including me.
But you only have one older child. Like, what is Skylar and Eli going to do?
Are you serious?
Of course we were gonna go out. We go out to eat every Sunday.
That's something you should have. I'm in the middle of a move.
Yeah, me
you realize
too.
That?
We both are.
Right. So again, I was tied up with that. So again, if you called in advance, I could have made arrangements in advance, but I had committed to something prior.
I get it.
You have to understand that.
No, I do, which is why I wasn't tripping. I was a little, sad, but I went out with Uncle Ike instead, my spiritual father, and then I spent time with my heavenly Father, so it worked out.
Hallelujah.
Nah, but this is why this video had to happen this way. But it's happening, and we just want to get you excited for what to expect.
Let's do it.
The world
How
needs.
your millennials? Let's go.
That's what we say.
No?
Let's go.
That's not a millennial thing. Let's go.
No, that's more of like a guys watching sports thing.
No, that's I think what's the next version now? The Generation X? That's the Generation X thing. Let's go.
I don't know. But
We're gonna reach Generation X too.
we're gonna reach everybody. Everybody.
We're gonna have guest appearances on our iPod and stuff.
I mean, as long as, you know, they bring value, we could try that.
Of course. I mean, of course, they're gonna bring value to the content that we talk about. That particular, of course.
But like, who would we bring other fathers and daughters?
Maybe we can invite a father-daughter pair that can give, stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I didn't think about that. I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, we are working things out, but you know that we have a lot of great things in store, so stay tuned. Just stay tuned.
100%. I say that a lot. 100%. Let's get it.
Period.
Oh, Lord.
All
right, so we'll talk, and stay tuned, people. Stay tuned.
Okie dokie.
Father and daughter, father-daughter perspective.
The father-daughter perspective. My name is Karima.
And I'm Terrence.
And this is the father-daughter perspective. Ah! Unbelievable. Alright.
That's the theme music.
I'm gonna have Zamela make the theme music.
Huh?
I'm gonna have Zamela make the theme music.
Oh, okay.
You want it upbeat or
okay, so on spot.
huh?
Thanks, Sarah. Alright. So we're talking.
Alright, bye.
Bye-bye.
So people, get excited. Cody, why are you in my face? Get excited, because I'm excited. I'm excited. There is still a lot of work to do, but I just really wanted to put this out there so you guys can get excited for this, some new stuff coming up, and also to share this video that I made for my dad because it's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day. I love you. Thank you for being there. Like, just your presence in my life has really shaped the woman that I am today, and I realized just how monumental your presence in my life is, and I'm grateful. And I'm excited for just the work that we're about to do with this podcast and all of the different barriers that we're about to break and the generational gap that we're gonna mend with this, and just to show what communication looks like, to really have a real authentic relationship. And so I'm excited. Happy Father's Day, Daddy, and I love you. Hey Daddy, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Are you on live or something right now?